and welcome to Chats con Sabor Season 3. I'm here with my beautiful co-host, Yvette.
Hello.
And we have some really cool things coming up for Season 3. Mm-hmm. We also wanted to announce that Linda has decided to step down from the podcast, and we wish her the best.
We do. Hi, how are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm good. I'm doing fantastic. Welcome back to Season 3.
We've missed
you. Here we go with a new season of Chats con Sabor. Today we're going to be talking about, we had an episode on Season 2 where we talked about red flags and some guidance for you to follow and things to look out for, right? Today we're going to talk about underrated green flags. So we kind of put a positive spin also because there's a lot of great people out there, men and women. And when it comes to dating, I feel like we have to look out for both, right? Because we can't always have our guard up and think that everybody is out to get us or that everybody's going to act a certain way just because our 5 other relationships
didn't work
out. Yeah. So you want to get started? Let's get started.
Yes, I'm excited.
All right. So I have a list of them and we're just going to kind of go through them. But I want to stop at each one and discuss, and like what we did with the red flags, just, maybe give a little bit of advice and then also some of our experiences with green flags. And please, as always, make sure that you let us know in the comments if you have discovered any, or maybe we missed some that you guys have come across. Yeah, we look forward to hearing from everybody. And hopefully this season will be a little bit more interactive because we love hearing from you guys.
Yes, tell us your stories. I mean, advice. Look, we're going to give it to the world.
Yeah.
We're going to share it. Obviously, it's going to be anonymous, but we want to hear from you guys. We want ideas. You guys have a topic you want to hear or anything like that? Let us know. We'll put it together.
Yes. So we are excited.
Super excited.
All right. So number 1 is an underrated green flag is when someone makes you feel seen in a room full of people.
Oh, yes. I like that one.
Tell us, have you gone through something like that, or can you give us an example of an experience?
Yes, I actually can. I can give you an experience now because that's how my baby is. Like, he doesn't see anybody else. He just sees me. I love it. It's the sweetest thing. But prior, I think I've had it with certain people, even friends, because it's not just relationships, it's friendships too, because some people just if there's something wrong with you, perfect example, there's something wrong with you, there's something going on with you, they come in, they're discussing stuff with you, right? And then you start going a little bit into the topic of you, but they cut you off, and then they start talking about them, and they just don't stop to hear you. So I think it can not only just relationships and dating. I think it's in all relationships, friendships, family.
I think that's a very good point to make because looking out for green flags in friendships too.
Yeah.
It's important, like you said, to make sure that you hold space for your friends. But also, I think people do what you said, jump in and they say that's their way of connecting because they're like, oh, wait, yeah, that happened to me too. But we need to understand that sometimes in order for good communication to be, had between two people, you need to let the other person...
Yeah, you have to listen.
Tell you about their experiences, about their thoughts, about everything, and then build on that, oh yeah, well, I had something similar happen to me.
Chime in later.
Yeah, these are all good, there are good points for communication skills, honestly.
Yeah. How about you?
Well... We've said before that I am big on communication. So that's a key point for me. So when I read this, when someone makes you feel seen in a room full of people, when someone is paying attention to you, say you're on a date. I'm going to give an example. And this actually has happened to me. Being out on a date and the waitress, beautiful girl, comes to the table and he's just looking at me. He's talking to her, but just looking at me. And I'm like, okay, I mean, you can look at her. It's like, she's talking to you. You should look at people when you're talking to them or when they're talking to you, but not removing that eye contact. Thank you. And then coming right back to me, and I think it makes you feel a little special. It actually made me feel very special. Like I was the only person in the room, basically.
He was mesmerized by you.
Maybe. I don't know. I don't know, but I think it's cool when somebody does that. But again, I feel like good communication, if somebody's talking to you, obviously I don't expect for you to ignore them and just look at me, you know, but the fact that they did that experienced that, I have mixed feelings because at the same time, like I said, don't be rude to the wait staff. But the fact that you're just like hyper focused on me, it's like, oh, hi.
I love it.
I appreciate it.
I love it.
Now, there was one time we were at the bar or something and we were with a bunch of our friends and I caught you and your significant other looking at each other. And you were over here, all those girls were over here, and then you were looking and you kind of just were like, and I'm like, who's she looking at? Obviously, I knew who you were looking at, but I followed your gaze and I see him and he's all like, and I'm like, oh, that's so cute. Again, making you feel seen. Like, honey, I have eyes on you. You know what I mean? Like, and then you're kind of flirting from across the room. But again, we're all together, like all, hi.
This is going to be a blooper.
Another one. That one you guys probably heard because that one was loud. That was a motorcycle. But the other one was a car last season. It's where I live. I live in a corner and it's very busy. And anyway, but I thought that was cute. I thought that was super cute. Do you guys do that often?
Adorbs. Yeah, we do. I love that about him because it's not something that you find often in people. There's times that I'll be doing something, washing dishes or whatever, and I'll just feel him looking at me, and I'm like, what? And he's like, I just love you. And he walks away. He's so stinking cute sometimes.
Oh, he is. He is cute. Okay, so that was a green flag. So, I think it's super important to focus on things like that instead of the opposite, where it's like, well, you're not even looking at me. You don't even pay attention to me,
Yeah, that's tough.
Yeah, it's really tough, especially if you've been, like, say, in a long-term relationship or a very long marriage. We hyper-focus on the fact that, or we get too comfortable, maybe, and maybe your husband's out with the guys and then you're inside with the girls or vice versa. You're in the same place, but say you like, and I'm thinking like a backyard barbecue or something. You're in the same place, but he's out there, you're in there, and there's no communication. Even if it's with your eyes or a kiss or something.
Let's just touch on that just a smidge because this is about green flags. But that's a big red flag. And here's the thing. When you meet someone, off the bat, in 3 months, 6 months, off the bat if that person is truly for you.
Right.
Because you can't marry someone and then 5 years down the road be like, that person's not for me. That person doesn't touch me. That person doesn't kiss me. That's not how it was when we first met. But it probably was, and you weren't paying attention because you were so in the moment with this person, you were missing everything else.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, and you can't change stuff like that. If the other person's not willing to change, you're not going to be able to change the person and how they are. You can be loving and affectionate, but that other person might not be.
Right.
Again, their love languages might be different. So if you're in a situation like that, you have to give the person grace. If it's someone that you truly love and you want to work on things, maybe it's a conversation you need to have with them.
Yeah.
And make sure that the good outweighs the bad, because a lot of us focus on the bad and we forget about the 80% of the good,
Yep, and we talked about that on a different episode as well in season 2.
So back to the green flags.
Yeah, so back to the green flags. No, but this is good. It's good to know because, When we were talking about the red flags, we did talk about the opposite as well. Don't be so hyper focused on all the bad stuff that somebody's doing. You have to, like you said, that 20/80. Look for, it might be 20% that they don't have, but focus on the 80% of that's good in the relationship, or the qualities of that person, that they have, because the rest of it can be worked on,
Yeah.
So,
And
yeah.
know what the person's bringing into the relationship too. Like, be aware of their traumas. Be aware of the problems they've gone through. Like, just know what it is that you're dealing with before you jump into bed with them.
Yep.
You know?
Exactly.
Because then this is what happens.
Yeah.
You have all these issues because these are things you didn't know. Well, you didn't stop to actually ask and actually focus on that person to see if that person is truly for you. You just some people get, they fall in love with the exterior and the pretty little bow and present, and here you go. Well, what might be in that package might not be beautiful.
Right.
That's
Right.
So
Yep.
be careful.
You do have to be very careful. And we are going to have an episode, I believe it's in our dating series, which is going to be new this season, where we talk about that, where we talk about not giving too much and making sure that we're learning the person before we start giving more of ourselves. Ow.
I love it.
I'm always like hurting my elbow. Okay, so underrated green flag number 2: when someone gives genuine compliments without expecting anything in return.
Oh, I love that.
Has that happened to you, and how does it make you feel?
It has. I have some great friends, and we have some great friends that are actually like that they're doers. They do for you because they love you.
Yes.
And they don't expect anything in return. And I think that's something super special that a lot of people have in them. And you just have to give them the opportunity to allow them to be who they are, you know? So, yeah, we do have some great friends that are that way.
We do.
Oh, my gosh.
We do. I will say that I am not a huge complimenter. I don't give out compliments. I don't give out compliments all the time. So when I do, and that's not to say that I don't notice things. It's not to say that I don't notice that your hair looks gorgeous. You know what I mean? I might be thinking it inside, but I don't literally verbalize it every time I see you, or
Just kidding.
Because it's kind of like with the whole "I love you" thing. You overuse that phrase, and then all of a sudden it means nothing. So if I'm constant every time I see you
You're
pretty
so
often.
beautiful. You're so beautiful.
Yeah, and then it's like, okay, yeah, you're like, think of another, like, do you like my brain? So if the guy, and then I'm talking to girls here, if the guy or girl, okay, that you're seeing, that you're starting to date, if they're, I guess it's like a love bomb, if they're constantly just complimenting you, all of a sudden it starts to become less
Special.
meaningful.
Yeah.
Yeah, less meaningful, less special. And then you're just like, okay, well, do I really look great? Because now he says that to me every single time he sees me. If he throws it out there like every now and then, and, hey, beautiful lady, or hey, gorgeous woman, something like that, then yeah, it makes you feel special, because it's like, oh, well, thank you, But if that's all it is, compliments on the surface level stuff, well, then me personally, I'm going to catch on real quick, and I'm just going to be like, okay, trying to get in my pants. He's just trying to lavarme el coco, like that in Spanish, that means he's trying to, like, I guess, brainwash you, but also trying to make it to where he can have his way, I guess,
See what he can get with the compliments.
Yeah, because some people think that compliments, again, are very, and they are special. Don't get me wrong, they are special. But some people think that if a guy is constantly complimenting them, then they must be whatever it is that they say. I mean, you might be the most gorgeous woman on the planet, or the most handsome man on the planet, but is that really who you are? Are you just your exterior? You know what I mean? So I don't know. What do you think, Joe?
Gotta keep my hair kept itchy me. It's like, look how red my neck is. Anyways. So, no, I agree, like, because I'm the same way. I'm actually the same way. I'm not a big complimenter, and when I compliment you, it's genuine. Like, it's because I love you, and I think you look absolutely stunning. I think you're absolutely sexy, you know? So when you get something from me, it's because it's coming from the heart, and that's how I feel. Like, when I see you, oh my God, you look amazing. Your hair looks gorgeous. Your makeup looks fantastic. It's because I genuinely feel that that's what you look like, you know? Like, that's how I'm looking at you. Like, holy God, you're stunning. You know?
Like, wow.
And, you know, I'm the same way, though. I don't expect people to compliment me or anything like that. I'm just like, I'm confident in who I am. I'm like,
same, yeah.
fuck yeah.
Yeah.
I just walked in the room. No, I'm just kidding. But I am confident in who I am.
Yeah.
And, you know, and I think that helps with the energy that I bring
I agree.
into a room.
Yeah. No,
Because I don't
agree.
expect anything from anybody. And whatever. That's just how I feel. Say I'm vain, I don't care.
No, I don't think it's being vain, actually. Now, it would be a different story if you were arrogant about it. You know what I mean?
Oh.
But you're not. I know you personally, so no, you're not. You're not arrogant about it. But I'm with this girl all the time, and she gets so many compliments. Like, guy.
Did you get it?
No, I don't think so.
Another blooper.
There it is.
That's blooper number 2. It's over there.
Yeah, I
There's
see it.
coming.
Oh,
It's attracted to the light.
It is, little fucker. I'm gonna get him.
She could those little fucking zappers and zzz.
As long as he doesn't go into my wine bottle, we're fine.
Where's the lid?
The cork is over there.
Oh,
Anyway.
Anyways.
Okay.
Sorry.
So, I forgot what I was saying.
Squirrel. No, we walk in a room. Yeah.
Oh, the confidence. Yeah. The confidence. And yeah, so guys are constantly complimenting her and stuff. And then, you know, of course, Kevin's always like all over her.
But it's because I always try to be a genuine person.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
This is me. This is my energy. I'm not here to get your attention. I'm not here to get that person's attention. I'm here to have fun.
Right.
And I'm here with my friends.
Same.
You know, I'm here with my man. I'm here, whatever. Like, that's just, it's been me since I was a little girl. Like, I just want to love on people and have fun.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, like, let's just have fun.
Let's just have fun.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I 1000% agree. Giving compliments should be a special thing. They shouldn't be overdone. And you taking a compliment too, when we're not used to it, when we come from trauma-based responses, you might say, if somebody says, oh, your hair looks beautiful today, don't turn around and say, oh yeah, well, you know, I was having a hard time with it, and you know, or it's getting so long, it doesn't fall the way I wanted to. Don't negate the compliment. Just accept it. Say thank you.
Go with it.
Say thank you, and let it fill you up. Yeah, let it make you feel good. Let it give you
marinate
that.
in it.
Yeah, let it give you that little boost of confidence, that little vote of confidence that, hey, my hair looks good today. Great. Somebody, maybe wasn't. Oh my God. How do we have so many bloopers in one episode?
Today's the day. It's the opening of season 3.
Oh, here we are. I feel like
Cheers.
I may be too far away from the thingy. Anyway, yeah. Anyway, you get what I'm saying. I don't even know if I forget what I'm saying.
Wait, so hold on. Let's rewind a little bit.
Yeah.
So when Yvette walks in, as soon as people see Yvette, it's like this. Oh my God, your hair looks so pretty. Oh my God, you smell so good. Oh my God. Don't let her fool you. It's all the time. Oh my God, you smell so good.
I do get that a lot about me smelling good. And I will say that I just gave out a little piece of advice saying don't negate the compliment. And I tend to do that myself. But because I personally don't like a lot of attention, and I know that's weird because I'm on here, but I personally don't like a lot of attention, especially if it's in a big crowded room. Don't make a big deal that Yvette's there.
We do.
Because I'm like, ah! But I'll always say, well, yeah, today's Saturday or whatever day it is. I showered today. I just make a joke because I'm trying to just, okay, let's move on. I should just say thank you. I should say that. So I need to take my own advice. That's what I'm trying to say.
She always says she contradicts herself every now and again.
I do contradict myself, so I just need to take my own advice. That's all. Okay, number 3. Someone who adjusts their tone when they realize that they've upset you.
That would be so...
That would be nice.
That would be nice. That would be the biggest green flag.
Yeah.
I would fly it on my car.
Well, those are actually, those are emotionally intelligent people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure.
That's a huge green flag, being with somebody who's emotionally intelligent. When they can sense that they've upset you, that they've hurt you. Maybe you're in an argument or a discussion. It might not even be an argument, just a discussion, and they can see that they've upset you in some kind of way, and then they change their tone to try to make you understand that they're just maybe excited, or maybe what's the word I'm looking for? They're trying to let you know that they're real passionate. That was the word. Passionate about what it is that they're saying, right? So maybe their tones, their voices are a little bit raised, and it's hurting your feelings. Emotionally intelligent people will then lower their tone, change their tone, because they see that they've upset you. Maybe you start crying. Maybe you start like arguing, and they say, oh, okay, wait, I pushed a button, let me back off a little bit.
Yeah, but it's also learning your partner and knowing who you're with. Even with your friends. I mean, sometimes they do dumb shit that you just want to be like, what the fuck, bro, again? And you just have to have the discussion with them. No matter how passionate you are about the dumb mistake they made, and they've made over and over again, and they find themselves in the same pickle, you have to give them grace. That's going to be a word of the day, grace.
Grace. Give grace.
Sometimes you have to listen to them and say, okay, they're hurt. Let me just back it off a little bit and just let me readjust my words, Yeah, that was a good one.
I liked it too. So if you find yourself in that kind of situation with somebody like that, hang on tight.
Oh my God. Spicy.
That's a good one. No, seriously, if somebody can, again, we talked about this in the love episode in season 2, where you get to a point where you can put somebody else's needs above your own, right? So in an argument or in a heated discussion, you're not discussing to be right. You're not discussing trying to get your point across. You're discussing to have a discussion, to say, I hear your opinion. This is my opinion. We have a difference of opinions, and that's okay. Just hear me out like I'm hearing you out. So that's what communication is, right? But if you're with somebody who can actually do this, adjust themselves, that's a highly, highly intuitive person and a highly self-aware person. And then, of course, emotional intelligence. I mean, if your emotional IQ is that high where you can actually have sympathy and empathy and compassion for somebody else, especially your partner, then yeah, hold on to that person, because, and I don't care if they don't freaking rock your socks.
Because you'll never find it again.
Because they're very rare.
Yeah.
No, because most of us, and I say us because I'm probably guilty of it too, where we argue and we're trying to get our point across because we're not heard and we're not seen, right? So we feel like we're coming like in defense mode, and we're just, no, listen, hear us. So yeah, anyway. Okay, so now we're going to go to number 4, which is when someone changes their behavior after they've apologized. We had, I believe it was on the season finale Slice of Advice, where they talked about if you can't, oh my God. Yeah.
I'm trying to keep a serious face.
Wow.
This is all the time, too.
All the fucking time. Okay.
Not her losing her freaking marbles, but us laughing.
Both.
Continue.
Both. All right, where we talked about that it's not just okay to apologize. You have to change the behavior behind whatever it is that you're apologizing for. So if you constantly not helping out with the kids' homework, whether you're a man or a woman, I don't care, and your wife or husband is saying, hey man, I'm always doing this. Okay, I'm sorry. But there's no change behind that, then you don't make the effort to then help out with the kids' homework. There's an issue there.
Well, that brings me to a red flag in the green flag here. When someone is constantly apologizing for doing the bad behavior over and over again, and there is absolutely no change, that person is never going to change.
Yes, I agree.
You might as well just give up or wait out. Is it truly a serious thing that he's not helping with the homework? Yeah. If it's not, then fucking let it go. Because he might be doing something else to help in the house. She might be doing something else to help in the house. That's why she hasn't gotten to the homework. That's why she hasn't cooked dinner. That's why he's doing the laundry. Oh, I haven't had a chance to do the lawn. Because a relationship is give and take. It doesn't mean that one person is assigned to a certain thing. If it is, make that clear from the beginning.
Yeah.
Like,
set out a schedule on your refrigerator.
Honey, you take homework shift, I'll make dinner.
Yeah.
On Monday through Tuesday, because I have less of a work day or whatever. Just, again, key is communication. But when it becomes a steady bad habit of constantly apologizing for the same shit over and over again, you really need to think about how important, one, the problem is, or how important is the relationship for you to stay in it.
Yeah. And where your limits are.
Yeah.
And
your boundaries.
Because if you're constantly, like you said, accepting this bad behavior, right, from the person, then they don't feel any. They can say, I'm sorry. They get away with it. They can say, I'm sorry. It's an empty apology. There's no effort or change behind the apology.
Consistent change.
Yeah, because they can change for a little bit just to settle you down, pacify you, and then they revert back to their old habits. So you have to keep, and I say you because you can only control you. You can't control that other person. You cannot nag them to death and make them or force them to change.
Stop beating a dead horse.
Exactly. And stop trying to force it to drink water. If it wants to fucking dehydrate, let it dehydrate and die. Honestly, let them.
Let them.
Mel Robbins. She's actually pretty awesome. But I think that's key in what you said. You have to take control and you have to take responsibility and accountability for making those decisions, even though you are in a marriage and you vowed, forever. Nothing lasts forever. Nothing does. Not even life. I've said that before. Nothing lasts forever. So it's okay to pivot and change. Change your circumstance.
Yeah, make sure that whatever your pet peeve is actually relevant.
True. Oh my God, that's such a great point. Because it could have been relevant at the beginning of the relationship or when you're dating or something, but then you got married and all of a sudden it's not relevant anymore. Because now, like you said, we're partners and we're doing life together and we've decided that we're going to be together for the long haul. So maybe I'll go mow the lawn now and you can wash the dishes. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And before it used to be the opposite. Now we're just kind of throwing out little mundane things. Yeah. But definitely it's a give and take in relationships and marriages. Yeah.
That's what stirs the pot and ends a lot of marriages and relationships.
Oh, yeah. And we've said this before and we're going to reiterate. Make sure that you do this before you make these decisions and you set the boundaries, have the compromises, have the discussions about your compromises and your boundaries. before you actually take it out of the marriage, before you step out on the marriage, because, or the relationship. Even if, I mean, because loyalty is, and fidelity, they're actually, they're key characteristics of a long lasting relationship.
Yeah.
Now, that doesn't mean that you become a doormat and you're loyal to someone who's not loyal to you. But having loyalty and faithfulness and respect in a long-term relationship or in a marriage, it's paramount to the success of the relationship.
You have to really make sure that you're evenly yoked with your partner. I mean, at the end of the day,
Yeah.
that's that involves compromise, people. It involves 100, not 50-50, 100, making it work. So when you are at 80, he can pour in 20 and you're back to 100.
That is right. Okay, I have our little slice of advice for today.
But it's a goodie.
Yeah, it is good. And it's not necessarily a green flag.
Sorry, guys.
This is going to be a green flag for you. Like this, you doing this is going to be a green flag, okay? You can't hold people to a standard that they never agreed to. Just because you would give more in a situation doesn't mean that they will. And you can't expect them to.
Preach, baby. Facts.
That was a good one.
I love that.
I loved it too. Let's see. Number 6. Oh, no, that's not number 6. Sorry. Number 5. When someone supports your growth, even if it means you've outgrown them. You want to talk about emotional intelligence and maturity. Yeah. Yeah.
And just FYI, maturity doesn't always come with age.
It does not.
Just so you all know, because there's people our age.
They're very immature.
Holy shit.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So, you can be 18 and be emotionally okay.
Yeah.
So,
Absolutely. I do have a story to tell, and it has actually nothing to do with love, because we're talking about relationships, right? This was me as a leader, as a supervisor, as a boss. I had maybe 2 or 3 that I trained and got to a level of, they were decent staff accountants, and then they moved on. They moved on to greener pastures. And I was never the type that chastised them, or obviously I cared how it was going to affect my team, having to replace this person that I spent a year or 2 or 3 building up, basically teaching them, mentoring, all the things that a good leader does. But I would never make them feel any type of way. And it's so funny because they would always come to me so scared, like didn't want to like let me down. And I'm like, listen, I am not the type of person that's going to stand in the way of your growth. I helped you get to where you are, and I'm proud of you. But I'm never going to stand in the way of good things happening for you. I'm not going to stand in the way of your blessings ever. And I'll do that in a relationship. It's just something that I've always felt in my heart, I guess, as a leader, that I need to be able to support them. And like it says, when someone supports your growth, even if it means that you've outgrown them. So I don't want to say I'm an emotionally intelligent person, but I believe in other people too. And when I mentor somebody, when I help them grow in their position, when I teach them, I train them, I give them the knowledge that I have because somebody else did that for me, and I pass it down, I'm building leaders, future leaders, That's the way I see it. And yeah, sure, it helps my team, it helps the company that I'm with, it helps all of that. But at the same time, I'm not going to stump their growth. I support everybody's growth. And in a relationship, if somebody were to come to me, hasn't happened. I'm just going to put that out there. Has not happened to me in a relationship where somebody comes to me and says, I've outgrown you. Thanks for making me the man I am, but I'm out, But if they were to say that, I feel like I probably would respect them more as a man than for them to just ghost or cheat, leave without notice. Yeah, I don't know. What do you think, Joe?
I agree. I agree. I'd rather a conversation be had, and for you to be mentally and emotionally mature, you have to take the emotions out of the situation so you can think clearly on the response that you're going to make. Because some people are emotionally triggered, and that's where catastrophe happens in relationships or whatever, because they don't take the time to actually process what is being said to them. And, that's tough. So when you do have that maturity of being able to process something and not react, no matter if you're dying inside, but not react and show them, because you want to protect somebody else who's growing, who has goals. You want to see them succeed, because at the end of the day, they're going to turn around and remember you and what you did for them. That's gratitude. So, yeah, I agree with both of your statements.
Well, I think also when we talk about when we get older and we want to leave a legacy behind, I think that's what me anyway, this is how I see it. I want people, even if I'm no longer in their lives, or maybe we're not working together anymore, maybe I leave the organization, I want to make sure that I'm leaving a lasting impression on wherever it is that I'm at, whether it's a romantic relationship, a friendship, whatever it is, that I have positively poured into that person or organization or my team, and leave them with a long-lasting impression, so that later on in years to come, they can say, remember when Yvette was here and she did whatever, XYZ, that really helped us get to this point. I just feel like you want to go into a situation or relationship, friendship, with an open heart and an open mind, and then leave it better than when you found it, And I think that's what a legacy is, leaving whatever it is that you do better than when you found it. So.
Leaving that green flag there, baby.
Yes, the green flag. Okay, number 6, someone who notices when your energy shifts and checks in with you without prying.
I do that.
She's good at that.
I don't like prying. I feel as though I love giving people their space. Once they have their space, I allow, a couple days or whatever go by. And then I'll check in on them. I want to make sure that they're okay. I know when something's wrong with her, because her energy just like whoosh.
It's also
it's on her face, it's in her body language, it's in her voice. And I've allowed her to have her moments, have her little safe space, and then I'll reach out to her and I'll be like, hey, you okay? I'm fine. I'm da 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 da. I'll be like, I knew it. I could feel your energy was off. But I am so it's because I am so intuitive with people, and especially people that I love. I always watch and see and make sure, check in and make sure that they're good. And then when you pop in my head, I'll send you a quick text, because I do have ADHD. So sometimes it's not intentional, people. It's not intentional. It's that I have 600 different things running in my brain. But I'll eventually come to you, promise. My squirrels come back to my cage.
They do. She's good about that. She's very good about that. I, like you, I notice people's energy shifts. I am not as vocal as, say, Joe is. So I do give you your space. I'm a Virgo. So if I feel somebody pulling away from me, I'm going to match that energy. I'm going to be like, oop, yep, well, I got to pull away. I got to pull back, because I'm not overbearing. I am assertive in a lot of different areas, but I'm not going to assert myself on you. If you're not texting me, if we're vibing and everything is cool, I'm going to give that to you. You're going to feel Yvette. But if we're not vibing and I feel you pulling away, or I feel you going into a little cocoon and shell, and I don't know why, I'm not going to pry. I'm not going to ask what's going on. But
She found it. I'm letting my hair down because I just froze. My neck is cold now.
Darn it.
Okay.
I saw the little gnat. I didn't get it though.
I'm back.
She back. Maybe I did get it. I don't know. I didn't know.
No, because it goes on.
Yeah, it kind of just flies away. But he must be old because he's flying slow.
That's because he's attracted to the light.
He's like, ooh.
He's like, I see the light. You're going to see the light, all right, when she smashes your ass.
Go into the light. Go into the light, little fucker. Ah! I got it. Can you guys see it? I'm putting this on pause so I can go wash my hands. The next one is when someone keeps their word, even in the smallest ways.
Oh, let me tell you. When someone gives me their word, it's Bible.
Mm-hmm.
It is Bible. To me, I am very trusting in your word. If you're telling me you're going to do X, Y, Z,
You expect XYZ.
I expect X, Y, Z. That's me. I've learned in my lifetime that sometimes words are just empty. So I let you either hang yourself or save yourself.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm very trusting. I'm very loyal. So I'm going to take your word for what it's worth. So someone that sticks to the word and is a person of their word, I have the utmost respect for. And that is so important. And when you give someone your word, follow through with it.
Yes. Yes. Preach, sister, because follow through is everything. Now, like you, I mean, I think I've said this a lot in this podcast where I accept people for who they are. I go into situations and relationships and dating and everything, friendships, everything, and I let you be who you are. I don't set any expectations whatsoever. I may mentally have, my boundaries and stuff, and until we actually create a connection, then I will let you know what my boundaries are and what I will and won't do and what all the things, but I don't come in, and say, and most people show me exactly who they are. And like you, I expect you to keep your word. If you tell me you're going to pick me up at 8, don't show up at my place at 8:30 without calling me saying something came up. Can we please push it out? And definitely don't ask me out and then last minute tell me that you're not gonna show up, because Yvette does not like to do this. Her face and her hair and all this shit. It takes Yvette a long time to get ready, so
24 hours in advance, people. Notice.
So do not tell me last minute that you're not coming to get me or that we're not doing something, because Now, there's a little piece of me in the back of my brain that'll be like, oh, phew, okay, I don't have to do anything, whatever. But I will be pissed about it because I took the time to get ready.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, if you tell me 5 hours before you're going to come pick me up, you know what? I have to cancel. Then I'll be like, phew, okay, good. I don't have to get ready.
I don't have to do my hair. I don't have to put on my face.
Yeah, exactly. I don't have to. And I know it doesn't look like much, but it takes a minute.
And we also understand when something arises, but
Yeah.
shit, 5 minutes before? Yeah, no.
Yeah. And let me tell you, if this is a recurring theme, then I will not trust you and I won't take you at your word. Then I will act accordingly. I'm just going to say that. But yeah, let people be who they are and take them at their word.
She is very good with that. It doesn't matter what anybody says about whoever it is.
Yeah.
And she, at the end of the day, she'll put that in her back pocket, and then she makes up her own mind on how she's going to handle whatever she's going to handle. That is her all the way.
Yeah.
Me, on the other hand, I'm like, Yvette, I don't get good vibes. Yvette, I don't know about that. Did you notice this? She's like, I'll make my own mind up. Okay. All right. As the little birdie's flying around her head.
out of 10, what people tell me, like, hey, I feel this, I feel that, whatever. I just have to make up my own mind.
No, yeah,
about people,
for sure.
you know. And sometimes I see things in certain people that other people don't see. And that's what I focus on. We're talking about 80-20, right? And then there have been times where, like, you know, people take a liking to somebody and then they're like, oh yeah, you should really explore this. And I'm like, nope. I'm not gonna do it because I don't get a good vibe.
I got myself into trouble with that. Like, you just like see this other side of the person. You're like, I know they're not like that because that's not how they are around me. Mm-hmm. And then everybody else is seeing something. Everybody else is seeing something. It's because something is there, bro.
Yeah.
You know?
9 times out of 10, yes. Yeah. There are exceptions to the rules, of course, but because there are people out there that put up this facade about them, and those are defense mechanisms. Mm-hmm. You know, they don't want to get close to people. Again, trauma. So other people see things, but then they're a completely different person when they're with you. You know what I mean? And I've been in that situation too, where I'm like, no, really, he's really fun. And they're like, are you sure?
We go through this all the time.
Because he just looks like he's a lot of fun. Oh, Lord have mercy. And I'm like, no, really. Like, he makes me laugh. And I love to laugh, obviously. You guys know that. Huh? I know you didn't have a clue, but I love to laugh. But honestly, I mean, the people are sometimes very different out in public. And actually, I'm kind of like that too. And maybe that's why I extend grace to people like that, because I'm kind of like that too. If I'm not comfortable in a situation, you won't get this fun, loving Yvette. You will get a completely different Yvette. Completely different. You'll be like, damn, like, what the fuck is wrong with her? I've had people come up to me sometimes and say, smile, yeah? And I'd be like, the fuck away from me. I don't want to smile. You know what I mean? So I have, obviously, just like everybody else, we have different levels to our personalities. Of course, people that I allow into my life, don't see that about me because I'm not like that with them, of course, because I love them and I feel comfortable with them. And I'm, you know, so you're seeing a different Yvette, but not everybody gets the same Yvette.
But I'm the same way too. I'm like, I am full throttle introvert until I'm around my people. Mm-hmm. Then the introvert, she's there, but she goes away and, you know, like my guard comes down. But as soon as somebody else new is incorporated, it's like, yeah.
All the walls come back up. Yeah,
I'm like that. She's what are you doing here?
Yeah. She's like, what? Yeah, she's like that. Definitely. That's so funny. Okay, the next one is someone who doesn't make you feel like loving them is a test. I know we're talking green flags and we keep giving examples of red flags, but it's like
they kind of go.
They do.
We're trying to give you the good view of it and then also the bad view of it.
What not to do.
Yeah. You know, we're trying, like, that's what we're trying to give you both sides.
Yes.
But the green flags are the ones that we miss all the time because we're so focused on the red ones.
So. We're so scared of I feel seeing people for who they really are. So if someone is making you feel like loving them is a test, they have set boundaries and expectations in their mind and they have not communicated them to you, and you keep failing their little tests. And so they go around talking to everybody about how big of a failure you are. That's a red flag, a huge red flag. And obviously, because you don't know that you're in the test. I mean, we've talked about this in a different episode where I think we were talking about ghosting or something. It was one of the dating episodes where I said, I've gotten ghosted before, but I'm like, wait, I didn't even know I was taking a test. I'm a good student. You know? I
follow directions.
I follow directions and I study for my tests. But if I don't know that I'm taking a test, well, how the fuck am I supposed to pass?
They set you up for failure is what they do.
Exactly. So don't do that. Don't be that red flag and set people up for failure. If you have a problem, if you have a boundary, if you have an expectation, if you have standards, let them know. I mean, maybe not right off the bat, but once that connection is built, then don't be in a relationship with somebody who's constantly testing you. Like, oh, let me do this and see how they react. You know, what the fuck, are we in fucking elementary school? Come on now, be a grown adult. Oh, yeah. Has that ever happened to you, Joe? Have you ever been put to the test without you even knowing it?
Yeah, I think people put so, like, I've had so many situations in my life that people expected so much from me because I was always consistent and always there. And then when I decided to back away from those people because I had to think of my mental health and where I needed to be and what I needed to focus on, that I was the bad person. I was always the one reaching out. I was always the one helping. I was always the one that was there. I am misreliable. You know, sometimes I can't be. You know, and I had to be okay with that because I was running myself thin and I was trying to make everyone happy and I wasn't happy. Yeah. You know, and I love doing things for people that I love. But now I have a boundary that I limit myself to what I do for the people that I love. Yeah. If I can be there, I can be there. If I can't be there, I can't be there. You know, because I do have my own personal life. I do have my own children. I do have my own finances. I have my own bills. I can't always provide and be there emotionally for people. So, you know, I've lost a lot of friends. I've lost family members because I've had to make the decisions that I've made just so I'm in a mentally good place for myself and my children, you know. Yes, they're grown, everybody. But still, when they come to me for advice and wisdom, I have to be able to give it to them, you know, and give it to them in a right way and a healthy way.
And you can't pour from an empty cup.
No.
You can't. So sometimes we do have to put ourselves first, and we can't be there even for our children. If we're suffering, if we're stuck between a rock and a hard place, then we have to fix that first. We have to focus on that first and then be there for other people. You can't overextend yourself because then what kind of help are you actually being?
Yeah. When your tank is empty, someone needs to fill it. And guess what? They're not going to fill it for you. So
it's got to be you. You got to fill your own tank. You have to fill your own tank or get filled energetically by the people that love you. And let me just point out, the people that love you will not make you feel like shit for not being there for them when you can't be there for them. They will not hold it against you and say, oh, well, she wasn't there for me when I needed her the most. Those people don't love you. They're just energy vampires. They're trying to suck from you. They take. And that is a red flag you have to be really on the lookout for, because a lot of people do it without even knowing that they're doing it.
Yeah.
And they literally believe in their minds that they're right. They set this expectation for you to be there for them, yet they're never there for you because you don't need them, right? Like, so the people that do make you feel bad about it, when you, like you said, you're constantly there for them, but then all of a sudden that one time you can't be there because you have your own shit that you have to deal with. If they're not understanding, then you're in a one-way relationship, one-way friendship, one-way family ship. It could be your family, your friends, your lover, your husband, your wife, your kids. And also, though, take ownership for your part in it, because you are the one constantly giving. You're not taking.
Yeah.
So you set that expectation for them.
You're the one that's making yourself stressed out.
Yes.
Because you're taking on something that's not yours. I've learned that I have to step back and I have to own the stress and the mental breakdowns that I've had for situations because I've put myself there.
Yeah.
And people turning their backs on me and all that. That's all me.
Yeah.
For pouring into them when they weren't pouring into me.
Exactly. So. When it wasn't reciprocated.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so now is our time for our what the fuck moment. She's been excited about this one. I don't know what it is, so I'm with you guys.
I'm not telling her this time because I want to see her expression. So anyways, as you know, we're like hugely into reels, right? So I actually watched one today. Oh, it's like 6 parts, but we're just going to sum it up in a little bit. So hold on, because I'm going to tell you what the podcast is called. We Crazy Podcast. The host was interviewing this young lady who was in a relationship when she was in high school. And her mom was going through probably like a midlife crisis, whatever. So she always had a really good relationship with her mom. But when she got into a relationship, the young lady got into the relationship with her boyfriend, the mom started getting closer, like giving her advice, what she should do. Because obviously she's young. She's in high school, maybe 17 years old, 16, 17. So she's relying on her mom to tell her all this stuff. So they like embraced her boyfriend. Well, to speed up the facts, because it's actually pretty sad, we can put links for you guys to watch it, watch the podcast, but watch ours first. But anywho, she continues to say, after like she entered senior year, and she started noticing that her mom was changing, and her mom was starting to dress like her. She was doing her hair like her. She was starting to act like her.
Oh, no.
And she thought it was a little weird that she was starting to make that transition.
Yeah.
So her mom was in her 40s and she wasn't sure what was going on with her. So come to find out, she was married and her parents were having issues. She started screwing around with her boyfriend.
No, I kind of had a feeling that's where it was going.
Yes. Her boyfriend was 18. And there was moments that my heart broke for her. Like she had her wisdom teeth taken out, and she was like on the couch, and they were actually in the house with her as she's laying in the couch, and they're like in the kitchen fucking around. And she's there like all under drugs and stuff, and they're fucking around. So, and her dad was a cop.
Oh shit.
So
and she had the balls to do that in her.
Yeah. And so the dad was always working, they work different shifts and all that stuff. So the dad started picking up on,
oh my God,
on like different things, like stuff was just getting really weird. And then, it was a really good story. My heart broke for her because obviously she has some trauma because of this.
Right.
And the relationship with her mom is obviously not good anymore and all that. And her heart breaks for her dad and all that. But yeah, her mom was fucking around with her boyfriend. Her whole entire senior year. Like, this girl was a straight A student. She was an athlete. She was planning with her boyfriend to go to a college in Oregon. He was going to the junior college to play baseball. And they had plans. And this just disrupted everything. She's like, I went to school and people found out.
No.
That her boyfriend was having an affair with her mom.
Is that how she found out though?
No,
other people?
They started putting pieces and stuff together. It's so long for us to be able to let you guys hear the clips and everything. It's just such a long story, and like she doesn't tell you fully in the beginning. She's like trying to break everything down on how the situation started. They started picking up little pieces, and then, eventually they got busted. But the rumor spread into school. So she said that her librarian that she never had talked to in her life, she was in the library studying or whatever she was doing, and the librarian came up to her and was like, I am so sorry. I am so sorry this happened to you.
So it was literally all over the school. Teachers, everybody, staff.
Yeah. That poor girl. I can't even imagine. But that was my what the fuck moment. Well, I just announced what podcast it is, so you guys can hear it. The story was crazy.
Wow.
But
I cannot
obviously
believe that.
She's in therapy and everything now, but it was just so sad. Like, So my question is, what makes... I know that we all go through these little midlife crises, but what makes it okay for a 40-something-year-old woman to screw a guy that could be her son?
Yeah, no. Okay, I mean...
Red flag.
We can dissect this in like to so many different little pieces because obviously mommy issues. He's got mommy issues. Now, is it common? Yes, because I've talked to a lot of guys who have had sexual experiences with teachers, with older women. There's like this fantasy. I kind of feel like it comes from I'm cringing because my son in the past was with an older woman, like much older. He was in his 20s and then she was like early 40s. Now, he wasn't in high school, but still a young man. And this is going to be on another one of our episodes this season where we're going to talk about this, the whole difference in the age gap and everything. And it goes both ways, like men with young women. And of course, those are daddy issues for them. But then also these midlife crises, but these women, like in this case, maybe she wasn't getting enough attention from her husband because he's always working. He's a cop. Obviously, they have odd hours and stuff. And I'm not trying to condone it. I'm just saying there's reasons why women...
Go find somebody at least close to your age, bro.
Dude, maybe your neighbor.
That's a child.
Your neighbor.
He's still growing pubes on his balls. Like, what the fuck?
Does he even know how to fuck?
Yeah.
He's 18.
Damn.
He's 18. Oh, God. Yeah, no.
Just because he looks well developed doesn't mean he's well developed. Because up here,
he ain't well developed.
Girl.
No. No. Oh, that's why I say mommy issues, because Lord have mercy. But then also just experimentation. Like at that age, women, men, young women, young men, whoever's going to give them that attention. And then sometimes I feel like this is more for the guys than the girls, but it could be for girls too. I don't know. But I feel like the guys tend to go like young, 18, 19. When they do have these encounters with older women, it's because they want to learn. They want to gain the experience and then they come back and then they use it on the young women. You know what I mean?
Well, that's the thing. They had, that's the other piece too. Like they had just started talking about them having sex. And at first, before the, affair started, he was all gung-ho. They were talking about it. She even went to her mom to ask her that they were talking about her giving him a blowjob.
Oh, my God.
So she was, like, asking for advice on how to do this.
Please don't tell me her mom was giving her, like, her technique on what she
was giving her advice. She'll tell you. She was giving her advice. She didn't say what the advice was.
Oh.
But after the conversation, her mom did chime in. Like, she would ask, did you guys do it yet? Did you guys do it yet? Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, and that's another level of fucked up on the mom.
Well, that's what the daughter said.
Like that is just like up. That's a completely separate, like different level of fucked up on the mom's part because you're fucking this kid, and then you're asking your daughter. Obviously, you want to know: are you guys fucking? Because I'm fucking him. Are you guys fucking? Oh my God! Yeah.
It blew me away. I couldn't stop watching that train wreck because it was just. I was like, oh my God! I remember when my son was starting to develop and he was into sports and my neighbor was like, oh my God. And Christian's always been like very well developed young man. So he's always been built. He's always been like fit. So the neighbor, I'll never forget. She's like, oh my God. Mind you, he's maybe a sophomore in high school. And she's like, look at those abs. I looked at her and I said, looking. Girl, I think you just lost your mind. I looked at her and my face just turned beet red. I was like, not today, Satan.
No.
I
know.
No.
Oh, God.
I had a hard time with Jacob in Twilight. Shit.
Because he was a baby.
Like, who? I'm like this. He reminds me of my son. He looks like he's my son's age.
Yeah, that's wild. That is
Yeah.
so wild. Oh my God.
Well, anyways.
Okay, yeah. Talk about what the fuck.
All right, carry on, my darling.
Okay. Next, green flag.
So many red flags in this
I
one.
know. Someone who doesn't make you guess how they feel about you when you know exactly how they feel.
Yeah, I love that. I love that because I have that. Like, I have absolutely no doubt that he adores me.
Yeah.
You know, like the way he looks at me, the way he listens. I mean, there's some things that I want him on, but you know,
That's every relationship.
that's every relationship. But
Yeah.
when it comes to him loving me, I know he loves me. Like, there's no doubt in my mind that he adores me. So, and I
Yeah.
adore him, obviously. But
Yeah, that's awesome. What about when they make an effort with the people you love simply because they love you?
amen. I love that.
Yeah.
That's important because a lot of people don't do that. And I know people that'll be like, "Oh, that's her son. Oh, that's his son." Or, you know, when you're together with someone, eventually you guys become a blended family. Whether it's your blood or not, they're still your family.
Yeah.
They may be your stepchildren, whatever it may be. But to put that wedge in there is so hard for me to process because, you know, I came from a broken home, and then it was like my marriage was broken, but the one thing that was solid was our family
Yeah.
dynamic, you know, with the boys and everything. And it's just like when my ex took Christian in, Christian was his blood. He didn't see anything outside of that. That is my son. That is my son. That is my son. So to see sometimes people like, that's your child. That's your child. That's your child. You know, it just mind boggles me. It mind fucks me all the time because if you love somebody, you love what comes with them.
Yeah. They're a package deal.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. Now, I will say, there is a fine line. There is a fine line.
No, there is.
I'm
There
gonna
is.
say
True.
it because you know me, playing devil's advocate all the time, and it's not even playing devil's advocate. It's more of just a different perspective. Sometimes you're in a relationship, not a marriage. We're not talking about marriage. When you marry somebody, you are marrying their family, their past, their everything. Girl, you're giving yourself to them, and men, you're doing that with the women. They're crazy ex-husbands and all their crazy children. But when you're in a relationship and you are the significant other, but you haven't blended the families, you're just
Separately.
yeah,
and all
you
that
live
stuff, yeah.
separately. You know he's got kids or she's got kids, but they're not involved in your relationship. You don't live together. You haven't actually, again, blended the families, right? Do not insert yourself into that fucking situation.
No.
Don't do it. Just don't do it. That is a red flag. You're not their mother. You're not their father. You allow your partner to do whatever it is they've got to do with their kids, especially if they're young, because they have a mother, they have a father. Now, it's a different situation if it's a single dad or a single mom. Literally, there's no father around or no mother around. Then I get that. Then, okay, you want to step in. But make sure that communication is had with your partner and that they are in agreement with you being that person for their children.
Yeah.
Don't insert yourself. Don't automatically assume that it's okay for you to assume the role of mother or father
Yes. Absolutely.
for that child.
Totally
or
agree.
children. Yeah.
And there's sometimes, you know, there's other situations that occur that blended family can't happen with whatever issues are on the other side.
Right.
But definitely have like an open communication with your ex-spouse, your ex-girlfriend, whatever, her person that she's in a relationship with too, to see if you guys can all be in unison. You don't have to be best friends, but you guys be able to agree on situations. So.
And let me tell you, if you are the girlfriend, If you are the girlfriend and you know there's a mama already there, or you are the boyfriend and you know there's a daddy already there, let your significant other handle their business with their children with their co-parenting partner.
Amen.
Their ex-husband, their ex-wife, their ex-girlfriend, ex-boyfriend. Let them handle that shit. You can be there as a support system for your partner, but do not insert yourself. And do not fucking think that just because you're raising your kids a certain way, that it's okay for you to insert your opinions, the way you handle things, and you're just gonna talk to the spouse or the ex-spouse, the baby mama, baby daddy. You're gonna insert yourself and you're gonna give them a piece of your mind because it is none of your fuking business. I'm sorry, but
Boom.
it's not.
Like Johnny
It's
says.
not.
Boom.
Boom. It's none of your business. Stay out of it because
Stay in your lane.
Stay in your lane. Stay in your lane. Yes, please. Because again, until the communication is there, until you are a significant part of that person's life and you both have agreed and the co-parenting partner has agreed that you are a significant part of this family dynamic, you have no say-so. I'm sorry,
Yep.
but you don't. You're just the girlfriend. You're just the boyfriend. That's it. That's it.
Communication is key, people.
Yes. Yes.
Don't allow, and you know what? Let me piggyback off that. Parents, too, you have to have your boundaries. You need to also be, like she said, have your boundaries. This is not a situation, and be bold enough to tell your partner, this is a situation that him and I will handle. You need to step back because this does not involve you.
Exactly.
This involves my child and involves my ex, whoever it is. That is our situation. When I need you, I will let you know.
Exactly. Yep. Yep.
So
Stay
in your fucking lane, bro.
And if you're not doing it for your partner, do it for the kids.
Yeah.
Because they need consistency. They need to know that it's mom and dad and that's it. Not mom and dad and boyfriend and girlfriend and everybody else and grandma and grandpa and everybody. Everybody stay in your motherfucking lane because those kids need to have a solid, stable foundation to be able to grow into. Yes, but they need that in order to grow into healthy adults. Let's start focusing on that now, okay? Because society has really gone off the rails here with all of this.
Look, at the end of the day, the parents fuck up the kids, okay?
Yeah.
Let's just be honest.
Yes. And I don't know.
And no matter how good the parents are, the kids always think that their parents fucked up somehow. So it's always the parents' fault.
It is.
So, I mean, at the end of the day, do the best you can, but just...
Let's stop fucking up our kids.
Let's stop fucking up our kids, man. Let's all just... You don't have to be best friends with somebody, but at least communicate and show them that you guys are standing together and raising them.
Yes.
So when they grow up, they don't think that relationships are fucked up, and then they get into fucked up relationships, and then they get knocked up, and then all these different scenarios break out. Just, if there's a solid foundation, you're going to have a solid kid.
Exactly. A freaking man. Let's
Sorry,
move on.
got off on a tangent. It was my turn.
No, we did. That's good though. Okay, so now I'm going to go over these 5 green flags that let you know that you're in a strong, healthy relationship. Ooh. Okay, now
Throw them down.
They're 5, but we're gonna go through each one and just give me your thoughts on them. Okay. Your partner's presence grounds you. You feel more like yourself around them. It's called co-regulation.
Yes.
Yeah. Do you feel that with your partner?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's a strong green flag there. You need somebody that we've said this before. Men need a soft space or place to land, and women need a strong provider support system, in their partner. So if you can be that for your partner and you have that, that's a strong green flag. Next one is you mirror each other's energy, but in a good way, not in a toxic way. picking up on each other's quirks. This is called empathetic resonance.
Yep.
Say. That's an inside joke. Say. Okay, you think of them or they think of you in the little moments. You care about what they think and feel. This is called responsive partnering. So like if you're at the grocery store and you're getting groceries and you're like, oh, my babe would really love to have this, or he really loves, I don't know, crackers. This particular brand of crackers. Let me go ahead and buy this for him. You know,
like,
you're thinking of him.
I got your Oreo cookies.
Yeah, there you go. So, but it's in the little moments that you think of them and you're like, oh, Joanna would really like this. Kevin would really like this. And then they do it. You know, they act upon it because, and then they say, here, I got this for you. That's called responsive partnering. The next one is you both can laugh about yesterday's argument, not to make light of the disagreement, but knowing that you can move past it without harboring ill feelings. It's called reparative humor. What do you think about that?
We're still working on that one.
Well, we're being honest. Nobody's perfect, people, okay?
I told you, he's got some really good stuff. His 80% is freaking awesome. That 20 though,
We're still working.
it's gotten so much better. Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Oh my god, I love this. I love it.
I love you, babe.
The last one is, she really does. The last one is you can do nothing, like just literally sit on the couch together and still feel like you're good. You don't need to be on all the time. The downtime still feels like quality time. This is called emotional safety.
Yes, that's 1,000%.
I am a big proponent of this because I'm such a homebody. You know what I mean? Sitting on the couch, him laying his head on my lap, and we're watching
Netflix.
a movie, and then all of a sudden he's snoring and I can't hear the movie. That's doing nothing. That's just relaxing together. And then the awkward silence that's not necessarily awkward because I tend to be silent often. That to me, if somebody can be with me in those moments and not make me feel like I constantly have to entertain them, that's a huge green flag for me. I'm like, damn, now I can literally be myself. And he's not thinking, what's wrong? Oh my gosh, she's boring or whatever. Like, dude, you don't always have to be fucking talking. You don't always have to be talking. Like, how about just enjoy that you are with your person? That's it. I mean,
We love that until his hyper ass is like, I can't do this anymore.
but there's a lot of people that are like that. People that constantly have to be doing something. I can't sit still. I got to do this. I got to do it, because then they don't feel like they're being productive. I feel personally, and this is not a dig at Kevin or anybody else who's like this, I feel personally when you can't sit still and you can't be in here is because you're not comfortable with yourself yet. Yeah, and that's just what it is. You're not comfortable with your own thoughts yet. You're not comfortable being just in silence. So I'm a huge proponent of meditation and things like that.
I agree.
But I feel like you haven't reached that moment of solitude where you are comfortable just in complete silence. And that other person can be there with you. You want to know what I love about my children? My middle child is not so much. I love you, Bree. I love you so much. My middle child's not really like this. She's kind of like, like she wants to talk and have conversations and everything. And I love it. I love it. And I'm here for it. I accept her as exactly how she is. My two other ones, my older child, my youngest child, we literally can just be sitting there like this. You want to know what I used to love with my youngest child? Driving in the car to go get something to eat or whatever, we'd be listening to music and we'd be holding hands like boyfriend and girlfriend, but mommy and daughter. We'd just be holding hands and I'm just driving and I'm just like, but I don't have to talk to her. She's fine, but she knows I'm there because I'm holding her hand. She knows I'm present there with her, but I don't have to constantly be like entertaining her or asking her 50 million little questions that don't mean shit.
Yeah. I think the downtime is really important because it helps you recharge. And after like 5 or 6 hours in bed or on the couch watching watching whatever we're watching.
Binge watching shows.
Yeah. His recharge is recharged. My recharge can stay there for another 3 hours.
Listen, at that point, I'd be like, all right, pause the show. Come on, baby.
He's like, oh, sometimes we do.
Let's use up that energy. And then, okay,
Woo!
go do whatever you're going to do in the garage. I'm going to turn this back on.
Yeah, that's how it goes. Right? Yeah. Then he goes in the garage and he's tinkering. He's working on the bikes. He's working on the car. He's doing his thing or whatever.
I love how you say that, tinkering.
I go downstairs. I check on him. He's like, no, I'm good. Just fixing blah, blah, blah. Cleaning the garage or whatever. Him having his little, I think sometimes too, he needs his own time.
Yeah.
Which is great because I love being by myself. You know, because I was by myself for so long, you know? So I've learned to embrace that peace, that time to recharge, and just so I'm brand new the next day, you know, and I have my energies back and my tank is full, and and he feels like he got his alone time, so he comes back and he's recharged. So then when we're together, we're having fun, we're laughing, we're both recharged, we're both on the same page. So, you know, but yeah,
that's good, and it's good to know.
It's a learning process for him too.
Well, I was just gonna say, it's good that you're learning each other and that you've learned each other to this point, because he knows now what you need to recharge, and you know what he needs as well. And it's like, and then you can kind of meet each other, and that's what relationships are, just compromise and learning each other and giving each other the space to be who you are and who they are, and just be okay with it. And that's what I'm trying to say, is hold space for people. And let them be who they are. You don't constantly have to be on. And if that's what you need, get on the phone with a girlfriend who's like you, that needs to talk all the time. But don't put that on your husband or your wife when they're the opposite of you, and they need alone time. They just want to be vegging out, or they just want to be on their phones, or whatever it is. Now, if they're constantly like that, obviously that's a problem. But when we're talking about recharge time, we're talking about just the downtime. Yeah, don't make it an issue when it's not an issue. Yeah. Just because he's not constantly talking to you doesn't mean he doesn't love you, or vice versa. You won't get that from me.
Baby, some people are freaking busy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you guys have to think about it. If people work, depending on their jobs, they're constantly busy. They have projects. They're working fast food. They're doing whatever. They don't have all day to sit there and freaking text you all day long, you know?
They're truck drivers and they're driving.
Yeah.
How do you fucking expect them to talk to you when they're driving? Come on. Like, don't be so needy. You know what I'm saying? Like, and if you are, find other ways to fulfill that need.
I mean, I'm just... We've grown we've grown with each other in that level to where we've gotten to respect each other's time. He'll send me a quick text and say, hey, just thinking about you. Hey, how's your day going?
Yeah.
And then I'll respond as soon as I can. He doesn't get butthurt because I didn't respond right away or anything like that. Like, there's been so much growth in that, in getting to know each other. And I think a lot of people have to really take that time.
Yeah.
If you're going to invest in a relationship, invest in the relationship.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. And grow
together.
Who gives a shit if that's how you were in your last relationship? Guess what? It was your last relationship in the past. Didn't work out, right? Yeah. Did not work out.
Last relationship.
That was your last relationship. Do something different in this one. Let him be who he is. Let her be who she is. You don't always have to be on in order to feel the love. If that's what you need and that's what you expect, and you're not getting it from this person, then personally, I feel it's oh my gosh, what's the word I'm looking for? It's not a good expectation, but that's not what I'm trying to say. It's not, I can't find the word. Sorry. 50. Yeah, it's because 50. Anyway, it's not fair, for lack of a better word. It's not a fair expectation to set on that person, because that's not how they are. And you accepted them how they are, and they accepted you how you are. Right? So, yeah, sure, you could take my words and twist them and say, well, if he accepted me, this is how I am, and I always need to talk, and I always want to blah, 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 blah. Like, okay, fine. But you're going to fucking lose him. You're going to lose him. I'm just telling you. You're going to lose him to another woman who's going to accept him for exactly who he is. When he's quiet, babe, what's wrong? What are you thinking about? Like,
are you mad at me?
Let the man, not everything fucking revolves around you. Let the man have his quiet time. Or her, you know?
Relationships take work. They take patience. They take, I mean, grace. And the best thing is to learn how to compromise with each other and grow together.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
What may work for you may not work for them. So try to compromise. If he holds your hand when he's walking you through the mall, be happy with that. Just because he didn't text you an hour after you text him doesn't mean he's not thinking about you.
Yeah, exactly. That being said, I have our wow for today, our words of wisdom. Apologies are powerful. They can get you caught up in the past if you're not careful.
Love it.
Yeah, I loved it too. And if you don't know what that means, let me explain to you. Let me explain something.
Let me explain something to you. Explain.
Sometimes we're looking for the I'm sorry's, right? Sometimes we look for closure. We can't move on because we never got the reason why something ended, the reason why he did this, she did that. Let whatever their actions are be your closure. So he didn't call you, he ghosted you. Let that be your closure.
That's your answer.
That's exactly how he feels about you. Exactly. She cheated on you. She walked out the door and took the kids. You want to know why? That was your answer right there. Sometimes we do want to know because we want to learn and we want to grow, but a lot of times that's not really what we want to know. You know, we want to know why, because we think we're so special and we think we're so perfect and we think we gave all of this, you know, whatever it is.
And some people just want the opportunity to try to claw back in.
Exactly.
You know?
Exactly. And that's the thing is sometimes apologies, when they come back, when they've gone and then they come back, I'm sorry, But again, they're empty apologies. They're empty promises. And that's what it means, that you can get caught up in the past if you're not careful. You get sucked back in and you're right back in that loop, right at the start of the loop that you just finished and got out of because they did it for you, because they left. But then you get suckered back in, and then you're at the start of that loop again. And then now you have to go through that whole cycle again, that whole karmic cycle again, because you didn't learn the lesson the first time. So that's what that means. That's what your words of wisdom mean. Season 3 is going to be more of this, more of Joanna and myself, giving you our crazy perspectives, which I feel they're pretty decent.
They're all right.
Yeah, they're all right. Again, we stated at the beginning of this podcast episode that we want you guys to interact more with us this season. Please do so, because we love it. We love to hear your perspectives, your stories, even if you think we suck. I'm being honest. Even if you don't agree with our opinions or our stories or whatever it is, you know, perspectives, please let us know, because we care. And
we do value everybody's, our followers, our audience. You know, we do value you guys. So please, you know, we want to hear your stories. Let us read one of your stories one day on the podcast and us break it down to everybody and see how it goes. That would be super cool. But again, we're always, especially Yvette, she's quick to respond and whatever to people and all that, you know. And we're always available, you know, just DM us and we'll get to you as soon as we can.
That's what I was going to say. If you don't feel comfortable commenting like on our posts or on our stories when we have the little, you know, suggestion boxes, if you don't feel comfortable, that's okay. Send us a DM, and trust me, we will keep you anonymous. We never throw anybody under the bus, unless you want us to. I mean, obviously we will if you want us to. And also, if you feel like you have a different perspective and you'd love to come on the show and you're in the Georgia area, let us know. We're going to have a lot more special guests.
Yes, it's going to be super exciting.
Yes, since it's just the two of us this season, we want to invite people onto our show, and we have a good lineup already. We're super excited. So please stay tuned and welcome to season 3, and we will see you on the next episode. Thanks for joining us on this episode of Chats con Sabor. Adios, amigos.
Adios.